Here we go. Look, there's Frankfurt. The Eagles at home to RB Leipzig. There's Kevin Trapp. Yeah, Kevin Trapp's come back into the side because Santos is currently out injured. We'll find out in a second. But he had a bit of a howler, didn't he, in the Europa League, conceding that penalty. So Kevin Trapp comes back in. He could set a new club record for the most shutouts, most clean sheets. It's fascinating how sports in the, not really in the West, but in UK, Europe, well, technically we're non-European, but how sport has adopted Americanisms, or, yeah, non-American sports has borrowed American terminology. There you go. So Kevin Trapp could set a record for the most shutouts. That would be 59, beating Peter Kunter. Clap that in. I'm sure Peter Kunter will be in the stand celebrating with you, should that happen. Oh, we've chopped off his head. There you go. We're not home with the 8th, are we? There's Attila. There's Attila the Eagle. Look at that. Frankfurt have never lost a home game against Leipzig. That's who they're hosting this weekend. 3 wins and 5 draws in the Bundesliga and 1 win in the DFB Pokal against the visitors from Saxony. There's Attila. There you go. Right, let's have a look at the teams. Like we say, Santos out with a knee injury, probably for the best because he had a bit of a howler, like I say, against Spurs in the Europa League. Kevin Trapp's in. It's a back 3 of Tuta, Koch and Thete. Rasmus Christiansen on loan from Leeds of the Midlands, question mark. He's on the right as a right wing back. We've got Nathaniel Brown on the left. We've got Ellis Scary alongside Hugo Larsson in the middle of a sort of 4. And then the 3 up front, or technically it's a 2 with a 2 behind a 1. It's Ansgar Knauf again. He's very attractive. Well, I'm sure he's an attractive guy, yeah, but he's it's a very attractive proposition for Liverpool. The rumour mill around him is that there's a €23 million bid on the table from Arne Slot. Jean-Matteo Bohoya. Apparently he had a bit of a generational stinker against Spurs in that Europa game. And they're behind Hugo Ekitike. Quick check on Hugo Ekitike. We did this in a video the other day. 19 goal involvement so far for the season. 14 personal goals. 5 goal assists. He's extremely valuable. And there was a fascinating insight here that, yeah, Frankfurt have never lost at home to Leipzig, and they hope it stays that way. There's a note on Kevin Trapp. But also, there's 3 players voted in the team of the season. Oh, where's that gone? I did see that a second. Bear with, people. Have I just gone past it? It was there. There's 3 Frankfurt players nominated. There we go. Look, for the team of the season. I'm all over the place. I did see it. I'm not making this up. Yeah, it was Rasmussen. I think it might have been Brown and Ekitike. There you go. That's like the front 3, right? Well, no. Well, it's an attacking part of the team. I can't find it, and now I'm making myself dizzy. Whoa, where's this going? There's all the signings that have been... Here we go, look, see? I knew it was there. Might have to edit that one out. Probably won't know. 3 Eagles nominated for the Bundesliga team of the season. Ekitike, Rasmus Christiansen, Nathaniel Brown. There you go. Voting's open, and that's interesting translation, isn't it? I should probably work on that. Voting is open until May the 27th. There's your Frankfurt team, right? No Goetze because he's out injured alongside the keeper Santos. As for Leipzig, it's Van der Voort in goal. Yeah, he was signed a couple of years ago by Marco Rose. 10 million from a Belgian team. As a back, what we got there? 4. We're going 4-2-3-1. It looks like it. Big fans of that. Clap that in. Aston Villa right back on loan. Ned Jelkovic, he's on the right. Bishibu on the left. No, sorry, Castello's on the left. Lukaku Castello on the left. Cloisterman, he's skipper next to Bishibu. Riddlebacker, we love him. He's on the right. It's 4-4-2. I've made a complete Kevin Trapp of this one, haven't I? This is what happens when you try and do things after so much coffee. I'd take your coffee, by the way, people. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Is it black like the Americans? Like when you go to a diner, coffee. Give me a coffee. Give me a coffee. And actually, from New York, from Manhattan to Manhattan, that is the nickname of Frankfurt, based on the skyline in the banking district and the fact that it sits on the River Main. We've covered that in a video before. I'll put that also in the description down below. One of the biggest teams in the Bundesliga, and I'll get my wording right, otherwise I'll get caught out on a semantic. Frankfurt, one of the biggest clubs in Germany to have never won the Bundesliga. Yes, you can come at me with your 1933 German Championship win, and that's fantastic. You can have a triple ring of the cliche bell, but it's not a Bundesliga, is it? Because the Bundesliga didn't come into effect until 1963. First ever winners of the Bundesliga, FC Köln with the old goat. Munich weren't in that first season, first 2 seasons in fact. There you go, there's some more facts coming at you like Cleopatra with all the facts, just to gloss over the fact that I made a boo-boo. Back to Leipzig. Yes, Van der Voort in goal. It was a Marco Rosa signing. It's a 4-4-2. We've done the back. Let's do the middle part. Baku. Riddle Baku on the right. Javi Simons. He's not really playing on the left, is he? This is interesting. You got Nicholas Seewald and Arthur Vermeer, and they're sitting in the middle of that midfield. Apparently, Javi's play on the left. Xavi Simons. Chavi, they pronounce it really interesting, don't they? Anyway, the Dutchman, the playmaker, that's a bit off, but okay, if he wants to play on the left, that's up to him, isn't it, really? And then Benjamin Tesco, that's a shout out there for Put the Shades On, playing up front next to Louis Openda. That's the Leipzig team. No Willie Orban out for a thigh injury, and David Ram, whose birthday it was yesterday. Again, happy birthday there for David. I don't know what that was. I haven't got any party poppers, have we? Well, Leipzig will be hoping that they party poop on Frankfurt, because Leipzig are pushing for a Champions League place. I can confirm that by looking at the Bundesliga table. Here you go, look. Smaller font, isn't it, compared to that other compared to that browser window. There you go. Leipzig in... That's the form. We want the standings. Leipzig in 4th. Yeah, still right. You know. Is that 3 points behind Frankfurt? So it's close, isn't it? It's close. Let's look at the form quickly. There's the Eagles. They are on a 2-game unbeaten streak. Dino Topmiller. It's been a frustrating season. You know, the first half of the season and that run up to the sort of winter break was brilliant. Look at all that green. And green does equal green, right? Money begets money. Money allows you to sign better players. I still think, and Gonzo's tugging on my ear, they're missing Omar Mamouche badly. Look at his goal involvements again, look. Where's he gone? He's second. He's not even there, right? And he played 17 games in the Bundesliga. And look at that, 24 goal involvements, 15 personal goals, 9 assists. No wonder he was sold for, 60-odd million, maybe, 65 million euro. No wonder. I still think they're missing him. Yes, they did sign, as we always keep saying, they did bring in Eli Wahi from Marseille. They brought in Michu Bishibashu up front, but they've only got 6 between them. Yeah. They did have a good run in the Europa League, but it's Champions League. It's on the cards, isn't it? It is on the cards, unless they drop off. Form-wise, though, we're here, aren't we, for that? Like I say, it's been frustrating. It's been starts and then consecutive losses, then a couple of wins, then a loss. So it's just they're just struggling for form. Then they've got 4 games left. You know, they've still got to play teams that are also competing for Europe. You know, so they could potentially taking points off other teams. It's a fascinating running for all the teams that are left, for all the games that are left in the Bundesliga. As for Leipzig, well, they're under new management, aren't they? Well, temporary management in Zolt Löw. Be interesting to see who comes in on a permanent basis. I'm sure I saw on the Gegenpressing pod, old Manu and Stefan putting Thierry Henry up and says Fabregas alongside Philip Glasner from Crystal Palace. Yeah, not impressed with Gonzo. The fact that we're closet Arsenal fans and we let a 2-1 lead over Palace slip away. I mean, the title's Liverpool's, right? Liverpool only need one more point to win the Premier League. It was never going to happen for Arsenal this season. Champions League still very much on, but let's come back on point. 3 games unbeaten for Leipzig. In fact, it's 2 wins and a draw in their last 3. They did choke against Kiel. Had to come from behind. It was a penalty converted by Benjamin Tesco. Every little does help. And how much has he helped this year? 17 goal involvements, 12 personal goals. I don't know why I keep doing that. And 5 assists. This is a very entertaining game. It's now going to go one or two ways, isn't it? What do you think, Gonzo? Give me your thoughts, son. Give me your thoughts. Oh, I like that. That's a great idea. We'll dub that one in later if that's what the kids still hold as a meaning for the word dub. We're going to go with Gonzo's gut instinct. And we're going to go 3-2. There you are. But to which team? No cliffhangers here, no spoilers here. We're going to go 3-2 Frankfurt. Yeah, we're going to go 3-2 home win. Because again, Frankfurt have never been beaten in the Deutsche Bank Stadium by Leipzig. Attila would like that. It's now a hawk that's working out, or an eagle, sorry. Not we have a hawk at Hull actually in the stands. Anyway, keep on point. What do you think about that? Let us know in the comments down below. You can join our Discord. We're going Frankfurt home win. We've still got some more games to cover. Ow, ow, ow! It's supposed to be a wolf that to represent Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg at home to Freiburg. Yeah, Freiburg. This is fascinating. There's Big Ralph HASENHUTTL. His job's it's in the balance, isn't it? Because if we just quickly jump around a little bit, they had lost 4 in a row until Dennis Vavro, the defender, managed to score last-minute equaliser to save their blushes, to save his job effectively away to Mainz. He's had a bit of a falling out, hasn't he, with Kevin Behrens over a certain shirt, a certain rainbow-themed shirt that Kevin Behrens, I'm not going to quote him, but let's just say refused to sign it. He was in the squad, though, for that Mainz game. Didn't get on the pitch, but he was in the travelling squad. Yeah, Ralph's he's got to be feeling the pressure like he once did when he was at Southampton. His comment is Freiburg are a top opponent. They beat 3-2 in the reverse fixture. Again, he's Austrian and he's been in Germany a long time. Someone's translated this or they've just forgotten to put in the word us. They caused us problems back then and now it is up to us to show that we've made progress since and that we can beat such an opponent at home. That should be the motivation for everyone. As should the fact that your job's on the line, mate, as well. So just keep that in mind. Again, you're a great team away from home. In fact, I should use clips like De Fussball Bros do. Yeah, feel free to check out De Fussball Bros. Check out Tilo and Philly. They've got a great channel. And they do what they call receipts. Philly always says, I keep my receipts. And that's, again, another Americanism of clipping and then playing that clip back in the following week after you made a predictions. Anyway, one of my receipts is that Wolfsburg, they should live out of a suitcase because they're brilliant on the road. They might as well just live out of a suitcase. Not so good at home. Didn't beat Mainz in a game that we predicted, didn't we, Gonzo, that Wolfsburg were going to win 3-2 away from home. So that receipt is probably null and void. Yeah, can't swap that one. Can they swap their manager? Lots of rumours that Marco Rose, we're fans of Marco Rose, might be coming in if Ralph can't sort of steady the ship. There's Julian Schuster. He's the manager of Freiburg. His thoughts on Wolfsburg. It's true that they have had difficult results. But on the other hand, if you look at the games, the quality they have is clear. They have a very large squad with many interesting players. They should have adopted that pose. Shouldn't he? I think he should have done. Anyway, here's the sides, and I'll blow that up a little bit. There you go. Hopefully we can all see that together. Yes, we can. There you go. Just highlight that. So Wolfsburg have Phantom of the Opera in goal. Grabara. It's a back three, very popular in Germany. Fischer, Dennis Vavro, Kouliakis. We've then got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 3-5-2. So we've got Paredes on the right. We've got Joachim Mele on the left. He's back after injury. We've got 3 in the middle of Dardé Gerhardt, no relation of Joe Geldhart, who's on loan at Hull City. Going the Tigers. Joe Geldhart's on loan from Leeds of the Midlands. And then Maxi Arnold, who brings it all together. He's a dead ball specialist, Maxi Arnold, the captain, the ginger 30-year-old. He's right in the middle of that midfield. And Jonas Wind, Football Manager, deep line forward. He saved me on many saves on Football Manager. Playing alongside that Amore, the Algerian striker Mohamed Amore. There's your Wolfsburg side. Again, no sight of Kaminski. We like Kaminski, Jacob Kaminski, the wide right player. He gets a lot of substitute appearances. No Adam Vranks. Again, another starlet. Not quite a wonder kid, but it's a good pickup if you can get him on Football Manager. He's still missing for personal reasons. Hopefully that gets resolved. Thoughts and prayers and the best wishes for Asta Vranks. What a name. Clap that one in, Asta Vranks. As for Freiburg, it's F. Muller, because there's a lot of Mullers around. It's a back four of Kubler, Ginter, the Lionheart, and Gunter, Christian Gunter. Maxi Eggestein, he does the ugly work. He's a hard-working... He's like the German version of Kaisho Sano for Mainz. Sorry, got my words out there, yeah. Maxi Eggestein next up, Patrick Oosterhag. And then there's Ritson Doan on one side and Vincenzo Grifo, the old Italian stalwart, on the other. Manzambi in the middle, he scored recently, all playing off Lucas Hoyer, who managed to score the other day. That was a collector's item. 6, I believe now, for the season. There's your Freiburg side. Quick look at the form. Like I say, Wolfsburg, we've quickly looked at that, but we'll do it again. They had lost 4 in a row. Dennis Vavro saved Big Ralph's bacon. He probably likes the bacon, doesn't he? Because he's quite a stocky lad, isn't he? Anyway, I'm quite stocky. What can I say? He saved his bacon there, so they've sort of reset that losing streak, which is brilliant. As for Freiburg and Julian Schuster, as you can see, there's a lot. They went on a 7-game unbeaten run. Don't score many goals, though, like scratching 1-0 wins here and there. Then Union Berlin, Stefan Baumgart's Street Fighters came to town. They played 2 consecutive home games, which is pretty rare in the Bundesliga for a side to play 2 back-to-back games at home. They were chopped down by Union Berlin. Dortmund absolutely smashed them 4-1. It was a great goal from Carney Chukwuemeka on loan from Chelsea. And then 2 wins in a row. Went to Gladbach, beat Gladbach, who themselves were on a silent electric vehicle type ascent up the table towards the Champions League spot. And then there was the 3-2 win over Hoffenheim. I believe that was the game where Lucas Hoyer scored the winner 75th minute collector's item. So yeah, it's an interesting times with both teams. Wolfsburg, yeah, well, we drew I think we upgraded it from a Sharpie pen to a big fat black marker pen, as in we drew it above their chances of getting to Europe. Yeah, they've dropped, which is why the pressure's mounted on Ralph, because at one point they were as high as 8th. Now they're in 12th. They're not going down. They're not going up. They're not in any competitions, neither domestically or in Europe. As for their opponent, Freiburg, well, as it stands, they are a point behind Leipzig in the Champions League spots. Again, they're playing each other, these teams. So Freiburg could end up in the Champions League. They have finished as high as 5th before. I believe that was a 2015 season. I could be wrong. I might have to put an overlay up to fact check myself. Anyway, it's going to be a fascinating game. Gonzo, hit me, brother. Hit me with a prediction. Gonzo's prediction for this game. You're going 1-1. After that massive build-up, you're going 1-1. Okay, yeah, we'll give him that. Wolfsburg are better on the road. They should live out of a suitcase. That's my receipt. Yeah, okay. So the prediction, not a very inspiring one, is it really? But you know what can we do? I do spend all my time with him. I love him. I appreciate his time. He's going 1-1. Yeah, we're going Wolfsburg 1, Freiburg 1. What do you think of that? Let us know down below. Let's check in on the Foals. The Foals of Mönchengladbach. Well, they're away at Kiel. As for the Foals, what's your favourite Foals song? Is it My Number or Mountain at My Gate? Let us know. Go on Spotify or other music streaming services available. Let us know. Comments down below your favourite Foals song. For us, probably My Number. Yeah, probably My Number. Anyway, let's mixing things up, aren't we? Making it a little bit different. Right, here's Marcel Rapp. Isn't he 35, 36? Marcel Rapp's thoughts on Mönchengladbach. Let's make him a bit smaller so it all fits in that window. There we go. There's Marcel Rapp, sorry. Tim Kleindist is incredibly strong in the air, so you have to stop those crosses. That's definitely a focus this week. Little insight into his training. Can we stay compact but put pressure on the ball and find solutions with the ball? Feels like that's a rhetorical question. We need momentum, a bit of luck, and also, check this part out, also referee who at least blows a normal whistle. Woo! That's a bit risque. Everything has to come together a little bit. Oh, you get done in the Premier League for calling out referees. Here's Gerardo Sioni, the Swiss manager of Gladbach. Kiel have given a good account of themselves over the last few weeks. They defend compactly, they have a good structure and play with a lot of discipline. They're also very lively, press bravely from the front, and have scored a lot of goals so far this season. That's shipped a lot of goals as well, Mr. Theory. They're still fighting against relegation, so they're extremely focused and well motivated. Good comments there. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. We can check out the teams, look, and let's make that a little bit bigger again, so we can all focus. I'll move it up a little bit. Sorry, there you go. So for Kiel at home, Thomas Dahme in goal. There's a familiar three at the back. It's Becker, Johansson and Ivazic. That midfield, is it a 4? Yeah. Rosenboom on the right. J.R.R. Tolkien on the left. Arman Žigovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina in the middle alongside Nicholas Remberg, the football equivalent of a suicide girl because he's tattooed up to fuck. Steven Skripski, obviously Steven Skripski, he's playing off, and it's a familiar two up front of Suto Machino and Alexander Bernhardsen. Lewis Holtby's still out with a thigh injury. He's off at the end of the season anyway, but I think he'd feel proud if he could keep them. If you could keep him in the Bundesliga, that feels like it's tough. You know, they're aiming for the relegation playoff. That feels like it's out of reach, but you don't know. With 4 games to go, anything could happen. Let's take a look at Gladbach. Jonas Omlin back in the net. He was back in the net for the away game at the Westfalen. Sadly, they lost 3-2 to Dortmund. If that game had gone on for another 9 or 10 minutes, it felt like Gladbach would have got that equaliser. Anyway, Jonas Omlin, keeper, back in goal and captain. That is fabulous. Joe Scally, the American from NYFC, one of the fastest players in the Bundesliga, by the way. He's at right back. He's got Ulrich on the left. Itakura, who scored the go-ahead goal for Gladbach. Check it out, by the way. I recall that's the second time I said that about Itakura so far this season. Yeah, he's got a wonderful header with like a unique piece of trajectory and flight on it against St. Pauli. That was also an away game. And the goal that he scored, the go-ahead goal against Dortmund, it was like he was a forward. Yeah, it's a great pick out as well, I believe, from Kevin Sturger. Anyway, Itakura's playing alongside Elvedi in that two centre-back pairing. And we've got the double pivot of Julian Reigl and Instagram-friendly Rocco Wrights. Big Frank's back. Clap that in. Big Frank Honrahat's back on the right. Alassane Play, the old man. Potentially he's in the middle with Robin Hack, the ultimate Instagram-friendly Robin Hack on the left. And Tim Kleindist up front, who he's definitely pulling up trees this season. Look at that. 20 goal involvements, 15 personal goals, and 5 assists. What a turnout that is for Tim Kleindis, by the way. Yeah, impressed with that. Have a look at the form. Kiel, well, again, it surprised Leipzig with that 1-1, and they were ahead in that game too. Then again, they are scrapping for their lives. I'll show you the table in a second. So yeah, it's not been easy for Kiel this season. They've only scored. Actually, they scored a lot of goals. So they've only achieved 1 away win, and that was their historic first ever away win in the Bundesliga. Because again, this is their debut season in the Bundesliga. It's been tough for them. As for Gladbach, well, they were cruising right in the right direction towards the potential Champions League place. It's stuttered lately. They drew with St. Pauli. They lost to Julian Schuster's Freiburg. Then they lost 3-2 in that game last week at match day 30. So yeah, it's tough. You know, could be the end of the road for their aspirations in Europe this season, or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, take a look at the table. Yeah, look, you can see Holstein Kiel stuck at the bottom on 19 points. Let's look at the form. Last 3 matches, look. Actually, in terms of that, it's better reading. It's 2 draws and a loss, so at least they've got 2 points out of a potential 9 from their last 3 games. And then for Gladbach, well, it's even worse, isn't it? Gladbach are in worse form. You could have worked that one out from what I just showed you. Anyway, it's the table. Gladbach down into 9th. I mean, a lot's got to happen, hasn't it? They've got to just keep winning and hope that all the other teams take points over everybody else and see what happens. You never know. If Stuttgart end up winning the DFB Pokal, that's against the Liga 3 side in Arminia Bielefeld, then potentially another European place or the chance to enter the Conference League at the playoff stage, that would then be offered to another team. So it depends. There's a lot of dependencies going off. Actually, that would depend on where Stuttgart finished. But anyway, Gladbach in 9th, currently on 44 points. Kiel, if they won and Bochum lose, again, Bochum, they look at all those red L's for Bochum. Well, it's potentially Kiel could go above them and be knocking on Frank Schmidt's Heidenheim's door, depending upon how they get on. As a prediction for this game, let's take a look at that one. It has to be, right? I mean, come on. This is Gerard Tierney, by the way. Our main aim is to finish in a good position in the table. We also have targets in terms of our development as a team, which apply to our style of play, attitude and performances. And Philip Sander is back after an infection, some part of his body. Philip Sander, just to confirm, by the way, is a DM, football manager term there. He's a defensive midfielder. 14 starts, 10 substitute appearances, has not played since their 4-2 away win at Werder Bremen. How many matches ago was that? So that was quite a while ago, look. Oh yeah, 4 games ago. Philip Sander there. 1 goal, no assists, 2 yellow cards. Philip Sander, at least he's back in the squad, back on the bench. What do we think of this one? What do you reckon, Gonz? Yeah, I would agree with that. Gonzo, then, in his wisdom, has gone for an away win. He's gone 3-1 away win, Gladbach. I think that's baller. We'll have to see, won't we? Anyway, yeah, 3-1 away win, Gladbach. It's Rise Football Paradise's precious team in VFL Bochum. They're at home to the Street Fighters, which are Union Berlin. Let's check in with the managers. There's Stefan Baumgart. He's the Union Berlin manager. Bochum will be attacking and aggressive. There will be a heated atmosphere, but there's a lot at stake, of course. Away, you'll always have 80% of the stadium against you. That's normal in the Bundesliga. You shouldn't expect anything else. So you need to be clever, and hopefully the players can take the positives from the previous games forward into this one. And there has been a lot of positives. Bearing in mind, they fought back and fought hard against Stuttgart to draw that game 4-4. It was a record, by the way, that previous game. I've quickly got to show you this one, by the way. that game there. That was a Bundesliga record. All 8 goals in the first half. That's never happened before in the Bundesliga. And if you were to turn up at half-time, you'd be absolutely pissed off, like I say. And actually, the first 7 goals were all unique scorers. That's also a Bundesliga record. What a game that was. Further proof that Stuttgart are a classy team. They can score, but they just fucking can't hold on to a lead, Stuttgart. Anyway, we'll come to them later on. Back to this game, right? So there's Dieter Hecking. Dieter Hecking says Union has built a starting 11. You'd hope so, otherwise you'd be able to pass through them, wouldn't you? If they anything less than 11, they arrive with confidence. A team that brings a lot of intensity, but also experience and speed. They are now where everyone expected them to be in the standings. That feels like mind games, that one, to be honest. Having a look at the lineups. There we go. And we'll make this one a little bit bigger. How's that looking on the camera? That's good, isn't it? Oh, we can see a little bit of Werder. Is that any better? That's better, isn't it? Yeah, right. So, Timo Horn in goal for Bochum, for the home team. It's the back 3. Ops. Uman, Ordetz, and the Brazilian Bernardo. Alexander Paslak, formerly of Borussia Dortmund, as a right wing back. Maxi Vitek on the left. Biro next to Tom Kraus. We'd like to see him in a midfield 4. The Greek, just Masouras. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Masouras playing off Big Philip Hoffman. And then Holtman's come in up front. That's fascinating. So that's potentially a 3-4-3. Yeah, that could work. I could like to see that one. Yeah. Oh, Sissoko, the big Ibrahima, the big DM's out suspended. That's a shame. As for Union, it's Reis or Frederick Ranau in goal. Back 3 of Durkee Querfeld. Check out his goal, by the way, in that 4-4 with Stuttgart. Fucking hell, scored a blinder. Shit pinger. He's a centre-back. Check it out. Anyway, Docky, Querfeld and Leiter is a back 3. Philip Tremel, the old man at right back. You got Roth on the left. Packing out the midfield this time. That's pretty sensible away from home. With Andras Schaffer, the Hungarian, next to Rani Khedira, younger brother of Galacticos. Sammy, yeah, we said that every week, don't we? And then Habira. And then Hollerback. Ain't no Hollerback, y'all. Yeah, Benedict Hollerback with those tight kills, getting a star. In fact, he's playing up front alongside Andreas Ilic, who scored a brace in that game with Stuttgart. Quick look at the form. Bochum, it's not pleasant reading. It's 5 defeats in a row. Oof. They're struggling to score goals, aren't they? 1, 2, only 3 goals in their last 5 games. 5 straight defeats. As for Union, different story. They can't stop scoring, can they? Crazy talk. They're unbeaten now in 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 game unbeaten. That is fantastic. For Bochum, well, they're in 17th. As we mentioned about Holstein Kiel, if Kiel win and Bochum draw or lose, then Bochum will slip down to the bottom, which is where we feel, don't we, Gonzo? We feel that's where Bochum are going to end up, at the bottom. Sorry, Rise, love the channel. New logo's funky, isn't it? As for the opponents, Union Berlin, well, they're safe now, mathematically, and with all sorts of scenarios going around. Doesn't matter, they're safe. It's all good. As for a prediction then, let's think about this one. Let's think quick, on our feet. What do you reckon, Gonzo? Quickly give me one, mate. Give me one. You're saying 1-1. You like that today, don't you? 1-1. Okay, Gonzo is going 1-1. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah, we'll get that dubbed on, like the kids like. After, yeah, we're going 1-1 for Bochum against Union Berlin. We're checking on the form team of the minute, which is Werder Bremen. They have won their last 3. Actually, they've won 5 out of their last 6, so they are top of the Bundesliga form table. They're against the St. Pauli team who, as a result of that 1-1 draw with Leverkusen, have probably sucked all the air out the title race, which is a shame. Good for St. Pauli, though, because they're getting closer to being safe. There's Oli Werner, look, manager of Bremen. His comment is, St. Pauli, let's comment on St. Pauli, I should say, they're a team that concedes very little. That is true. and defends very disciplined overall. There are strong runners and play as a team on the pitch, doing everything together. That separates them from some of the other teams that rely more on individual quality. They're extremely difficult to beat. That's a balanced comment, that, Oliver. I like that one. What else have we got here? Good omens for Werder Bremen. Mitchell Weiser scored the only goal in the 1-0 win over Bochum last time out. That was in match day 30. We care about this one though, don't we, really? Let's make that bigger so that we're all involved. There we go. I'll move that up slightly just to block that out. So there's the starting 11 then. So in goal for Werder is Michael Zetterer, etc. What's he got now? 9? Is it 9 or 10 clean sheets? We'll dub that on after. Everyone's getting dubbed, aren't they? Dub star. Remember them? Dubstar? Dubstep. Back three. Ned Stark, Marcus Friedel, the captain, and Amos Piper. Mitchell Weiser, he scored again, as we just talked about in their last game. He's at right back. He's prickly. He's prickly on my football manager say for Werder Bremen. Anyway, hopefully we'll be streaming later on today, if not at some point this weekend. Weiss on the right, Felix Agu on the left, Jens Steg, Sinilainen, we love that guy so much. And then Romano Schmidt is the dynamo, the playmaker in that midfield. Oliver Burke alongside the mighty Marvin Dushk. As for St. Pauli, well, it's Nikolai Vasil in goal. It's a back three. Nemeth, Weil and Van der Hayden. Still no sign of Jackson Irvine, the Socceroos captain, which he's going to be missed. Wasn't missed that much, was he? Despite against Leverkusen. Sally Cass, Bulkhalfer, Smith, the Swede, and Philip Treyu. That's the midfield. Noah's Weishaupt. He's brilliant. Yeah, I like him. He's one for the future. Noah's Weishaupt. Daniel Sanani, the Luxembourgian, and Gulavugi up front as well. There's your line. It's the two teams. Quick look at the form. Let's have a look at St. Pauli. As Ollie Werner pointed out, and it's true, they're a miserly defence. Don't concede that many. Conceded 16 at home and only 10 away from home. That's crazy. Sorry, 20 away from home. That's more like it. And I've got that the wrong way around. So they've conceded 16 at home, 20 away, 36 goals in total. Better away form as well, which again is like Wolfsburg as well. They are on a 3-game unbeaten streak. That's not bad going, is it, actually? 2 draws and a win. That draw with Leverkusen, yeah. I mean, technically, it was unfortunate that the VAR goal went against them. Otherwise, they could well have won that game. And the title would be pretty much over, wouldn't it? The Meisterschale would be heading to Munich. As for Werder Bremen, like we say, they're the form team. They've won 5 out of their last 6. It's 4 wins on the spin. Yeah, it's just brilliant from a Werder team, which in terms of the form we've looked at. But the table, all of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, Werder are up into 8th on 45 points. Can they do it? Can they? Again, a bit like Gladbach and a bit like a Dortmund team, they need to just focus on winning and hope that the other teams around them pick points off the other teams. As for their opponents, St. Pauli, well, you know, they're level with 30 points, which again is level, with Hoffenheim. 5 points adrift of Union Berlin, who are safe. It feels like St. Pauli are safe, and at the bottom 3 the bottom of that table will finish off like that, to be honest. As for a prediction, because that makes life interesting, with that team and Werder Bremen in that level of form, hit me, Gonzo. Whoa! He says 2-0 Werder Bremen. I'm on board with that. 2-0 Werder Bremen home win.